World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where your host Tyrone Glover, the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery, comes to you live from Yonkers, New York, wishing you and welcoming you to the show. Thank you. How is everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope you are ready for another exciting episode while we make sure that you are again, I'm going to use my Dr. Yana B's tagline. We're going to give you a checkup from the neck up. I think it's awesome that she is, again, someone that I love and I admire, and I truly believe that with her help and what we're doing here, we're going to set this whole new trajectory of financial literacy, financial intelligence. We're going to put it on the map, and hopefully we can change some lives. Again, my name is Tyrone Glover. I am the Dress Down CEO, and I am here on Soul City Network doing what I do best, which is helping you get financially secure, getting you where you need to be. It is a pleasure, as always, to see and hear from you. We're going to ask you real quick if you know anybody who could benefit from this, go to that device that you always use so much and tag them in. Say, hey, that guy's back out there. He's doing what he do. Let's get us on. Let's get us out there. Let's do what we need to do. Soul City Network is a wonderful platform. They are on a variety of different channels and stations, and we are doing what we do for our people. Want to also say happy Women's Month, because this is Women's Month, the March of March, and to all of our beautiful, wonderful, talented, exquisite women out there in the world today, happy Women's Month, and we're going to be celebrating you all month long, as we should be celebrating you all year long. We are now out of that Black History Month, which, again, I hope everybody got something out of that, because our history is no mystery, and we need to really tie into that, because it's going to help us reveal some of the shenanigans that have been going on for decades. And it's now overdue time for us to start course correcting and getting on track, because if we do what we need to do, we're going to be okay. Give a shout out to, obviously, the creator, because without him, none of this would be possible. So let's go ahead and roll this program. What are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about, is there a connection between financial health and mental health? Is there a connection between financial health and mental health? Me personally, I believe there is. I believe there is a strong connection between financial health and mental health. And this show, hopefully today, will help you tune into that understanding of what could be and what signs you might want to look for, because the two tie in. There's a lot of things that tie in. There's a lot of things that tie into our mental conditions when it comes to our money. It's when it comes to our spirituality, when it comes to a lot of, even our academia. Money ties into so much. It ties into our politics. It just, you really don't really understand, and some of you probably do, but it's nice to get a refresher course in what some of these things and how they could be hurting you as you move through some of the difficulties of life. And our job is to help you with making sure that these things are not as arduous. It's also giving you an outlet, somewhere where you can turn. Soul City Network is a great place to turn. Dr. Yana B of Anaj Enterprise. Also, you can find her here on Soul City with the Access Wealth Nation. There it is, Access Wealth Nation. And if you can't go to YouTube, you can find me there on YouTube. You can find me on my social media pages. You can give me a call, text me, whatever it is. If you are running into any type of issues financially, give us a holler because we can help you out. All right, let's go ahead and pop them slides up there and let's get this party started. So, is there a connection between financial health and mental health? A study discovered that individuals experiencing depression and anxiety were 3 times more likely to be in debt. Further research has also indicated a connection between debt and suicide. And believe it or not, yes, folks, sometimes your financial understanding can get so overpowering that you just don't know where to turn. I'm suggesting to everyone, if you are feeling any type of anxiety towards your debt, this is now the time to reach out to Soul City, to reach out to Leverage Credit Recovery, and let us walk you through some of these challenges. We can help you. It's so alarming that individuals don't really realize how much the community can literally help. And we got to get out of our own way. If we do, the solutions are there. We are brilliant, bright, talented, wonderful individuals that know exactly how to go about making sure that we can help our overall public. And that's all we want to do. We want to help you out. We want to make sure that you're on track. We want to make sure that everything is A-OK in that household, in your life. And what we want to do is, again, help you along that journey, along that pathway. But depression, anxiety, by all means, we need you to reach out. If you do, guess what? We're going to have you covered. All right, so let's talk a little bit deeper. We're going to cover a couple of different areas. Life feels uncontrollable. All right, we're going to cover a couple of these, and we're going to take our time moving through this. We also know that we're wanting questions. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, anything that you want to add as we go through the program, please make sure that you add those questions, whether in YouTube, whether on Facebook, or right here on StreamYard. But life feels uncomfortable. When your mood or your thoughts feel beyond your control, you may also perceive your financial life as chaotic. This can lead to a loss of hope for a better future. In some moments, savings for significant purchases or retirement may seem futile. You might find solace in the idea that you can control your immediate purchases, even if everything else feels overwhelming. I want to tell you right now, calm down, relax, take a few deep breaths. Money is not the end all. We do know that it helps with maneuvering, getting us through. But if you let it become that major issue in your life, you're going to spiral out of control. If you think that you can't pay this bill, if you think that you're, whatever the circumstances, I have dealt with so many circumstances, not just on my own, but also individuals that I've helped through. And I can tell you right now, those individuals are very, very grateful and thankful for, again, just having someone that they can talk to, having someone that just removes them off that troubled path of what their finances may be saying or what their actual finances may be doing. We have to get back in control of our finances. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to reveal to you something that you probably may or may not know. 10% of what your financial stressors are yours. 90% of what your financial stressors are belong to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and the systemic misunderstanding as to how our wealth has been stolen. All right. You don't have to feel the way that you feel when it comes to your money. You just need to know that you're not the root cause of your financial misunderstanding when it comes to money. You're not. You're not. We have never been properly educated. We have never been properly schooled. Trust me, as an educator, as a teacher, as someone who's been in this business for about 20 plus, I found out some really disturbing things, and that's why that statistic is valid. It's valid. 90% is definitely in the hands of Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, regulators, legislators, those who were supposed to be protecting us, who didn't. For example, CFPB, if you don't know what the CFPB is, it's the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau, FTC. A lot of these institutions that have been around for eons, even though I still respect them and I still give them all the due diligence for what they have done, they still need to be doing more. They need to be listening to those who have been put in harm's way financially, and they really need to respond more effectively and stop giving these businesses a break. Anytime you give a business a break for malfeasance, you basically embolden them to do even more. And these businesses know exactly what I'm talking about. The CFPB equally knows what I'm talking about. The ones who don't know are the consumers, the ones who are stressing out over a late payment, stressing out over a missed opportunity when it comes to meeting a contractual obligation, those who have been hampered by interest rates. All right, interest rates, those who have had their credit cards closed due to whatever the financial understanding, medical bills. There are so much this compounding of is really creating a uncomfortable or an uncontrollable situation. But I'm telling you right now, take a few deep breaths, relax, get it under control, and then do yourself some justice. Reach out to those who can help you. If you have to reach out to a 911 or wherever it may be first to bring yourself down, do that as well. Because again, they are professionals in helping you manage that emotional stress. And I'm a professional who's able to help you manage that financial stress. But I'm also a decent person. I'm also a God-loving and a family man. I'm also a human being who cares sincerely about his fellow brother and sister. Doesn't matter your ethnicity, doesn't matter your race, doesn't matter absolutely nothing. If you believe that I can help you navigate through that financial stressor, please, by all means, reach out to me. I have no problem with guiding anyone through these challenges. It's not as hard as you think, folks. It's not as hard as you think. Number two, you're more inclined to evade issues. And this is a huge thing that we don't want to do. All right. This requires considerable focus and determination to confront the pile of bills or to contact credit card companies regarding a late payment. Yeah, see, we are so stressed out about negotiating, talking to those who we have gotten into a contractual relationship with, all because things may not have gone in the manner in which we should. And we know exactly what they're going to say. But this is the part that I want you to understand. You're talking to a lower ranking employee who really doesn't have much control. They're just following a script. And if you got to talk to the top guy, trust me, I believe that top guy would say, sure, no problem, here we go. And I don't know why that doesn't disseminate and come down, but I mean, I'm not going to say I don't know why. I have a good idea why. They're in the business to make money, right? Overall, drafting a budget can invoke significant anxiety, and it can be challenging to confront the realities that I'm overspending, that I might be not using the proper transaction method, that I just might be just wanting to spend and not have a good understanding of how money works. There are so many things that could be associated with some of those anxieties. And until you really know how to deal with those anxieties, you're going to need somebody who can help you, right? When you're not feeling your best, it's much more appealing to avoid such problems altogether. We do not run from our obligations. We run to those obligations. And if you have no idea how to, well, this is the best time to get that coaching. This is the best time to get that tutelage that can help you so you're not feeling overwhelmed about your payments, that you're not feeling overwhelmed when you do have to miss a payment. A missed payment should not be the end of the world. Even if you have to miss 2, 3, it doesn't matter. We want to put you back on that pathway to recovery, regardless of what the financial situation may be. We do not want you stressing out over this because, as I said, there is a tie in to your mental health when it comes to your financial health. And our job here today is to help you with navigating around those obstacles, filling in those potholes, repaving that road if necessary. But we're going to do what we need to do to get you on point, on board, and no more stressing over these types of situations. Number 3, you may seek temporary relief out of your desperation. When in distress, people often resort to various coping mechanisms, even if these actions might exasperate their situations in the long run. I've done it myself. I used to get overwhelmed with certain things. And what would I do? I'd go out and shop. I'd go out and spend money. And I'd spend money knowing that it was due or needed to be for a particular financial situation. And that excessiveness or that, oh, well, I'll make it up next week. That's not a good way to go about things. You have to find relief in some other form or fashion. And if we have to, COVID has put us all in a very tough and difficult situation. And even prior to COVID, we had tough and difficult situations. But now it seems as if it's compounded, and there are ways to navigate around it. There are ways. You just have to find that trusted, that individual who is an authority in that space. And mental health is no joke. I'm not trying by any means or any stretch of the imagination attempting to tell anyone that I'm a medical professional in that mental health space. I'm not. I'm just a caring, compassionate, loving human being who also knows a lot about finances and how they tie into that mental health. And I can help you on the financial piece just by talking to me would help you understand, oh, okay, wait a minute. Maybe things aren't as bleak as they seem. This behavior is often referred to as retail therapy, where purchasing items like shoes or cars, which may be beyond one's financial means, as I just said, provides temporary gratification, but can lead to further financial strain over time. And that it does. Going out on those shopping sprees, knowing that you have obligations, compounding what you thought you were trying to get rid of, and then you added another layer of stress to it. There are ways, there are means, there are professionals out there that can control such urges. And all you need to do is reach out to them, talk to them. They are there. They are, as all professionals, all individuals who are of my caliber. We're knocking. We are doing shows. We are out there in the public's realm. We are offering our services to the libraries, to nonprofit organizations. We're hosting events. We're doing exactly as we should per our calling and per our niche. You now have to decide, what is it that you want? Do you want further hardship, or would you like to relieve yourself of some of these financial stressors? Because if you do, I'm telling you right now, there are ways, there are means, there are definite options other than the options of staying stressed out and missing out on your entire life because you think your finances are bigger or your financial problems are bigger than your solutions. They're not. There are plenty solutions, plenty ways to navigate through some of these difficult times. Number 4, self-esteem takes a nosedive. Yeah, your self-esteem. And I attempt to help my students all the time with that self-esteem. I give them affirmations all the time. I'm making sure that they understand the first person that you should be attempting to be better than is yourself. Be better than yourself every single day. Wake up every morning with a nice affirmation that lets you know who's in control. I'm in control. I'm in control of my life. Frequently, the more you suffer, the more your self-worth diminishes. This often prompts individuals to overcompensate. Well, again, it's just one of those normal reactions that we do when we feel stressed. We go to other means, we go to other things, and we have to prevent ourselves from doing that. And the only way to do that is to find groups. There are groups out there. to find professional help. If your mental capacity is diminishing in whichever capacity, go seek help. If your financial situation seems bleak and seems that there's no way of getting out of it, seek help. Stop doing these things to yourself that is self-sabotage. Stop putting yourself in predicaments all because I'm not going to say reluctant, you might not really know. So this is a wake-up call. This is a course correction to now seek the help that you need. Do not keep putting yourself into these hardships. Low self-esteem may drive individuals to purchase costly attire, a branded watch, even a luxury vehicle to project an illusion of success. Yes, putting yourself in the hole. I see it too many times. I've even myself done it too many times. And I can sit here and tell you there are ways of resolving these misunderstandings. And that's all it is. It's a misunderstanding. It's lack of education. I'm not going to say it's ignorance or stupidity because those are just the building blocks to more of that self-destruction or that demise of your self-esteem. And we need to think more clear about our resources. First and foremost, you got to know how money works. You have to know how it works. If you do not know how it works, I'm telling you right now, it's working for somebody else. So going out there, buying all of these costly attire, branded watches, luxury vehicles to give what? The illusion of success? Let's focus on real success. Let's focus on squashing a lot of the misconceptions about how we should be navigating through our financial situations. And let's find true willing partners because they're out there. True willing partners. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they're not your friends. They are a business and they have been in business to hurt, not help. And it's really sad that Congress allows for these institutions to constantly hinder individuals from the rightful understanding of how credit is supposed to work, the schooling that comes with it, our academic communities. There is no, or shall I say, there is very little assistance when it comes to aiding individuals in that K through 12 area of academia when it comes to financial literacy. We could nip this in the butt right at the door front. But unfortunately, we wait until individuals are 30 and 40 when it's already overdue, when we already have broken adults. When we can save our children at the beginning and successfully put them on a path to a better financial future. But do we do that? No, we don't. We rather see them in that later stage when they're all stressed out, when they don't know where to turn, when we can do what we need to do at the beginning, but we wait until the end. And I don't understand why. Well, again, when I say I don't understand why, as someone who's been in this space a long time, I understand why. And it's just because roughly about 60 to 70% of this nation was not designed to experience the joy and the love of financial freedom. We were not supposed to have all of the comforts of work, all the comforts of decent health care. Again, compounding issues. And it's an easy, quick fix. And it's not about giving someone. It's about helping someone, sincerely helping, guiding, and delivering upon the expectation of that individual in need. I say it all the time. I can give you a fish or I can teach you how to fish. Giving you a fish is only going to allow you to eat for a day. But if I teach you how to fish, you can eat for a lifetime. And that's exactly where we are when it comes to our financial understanding and how it ties into that mental health. We have to require upon those who are in control, or excuse me, let me rephrase that because no one's really in control of you. You're in control of yourself. But those who have the false understanding that they are in control of somebody, our legislators, those now so-called, again, rulers, because if this was a true democracy, our legislators would not be telling us what to do. Our legislators would be responding to us, because the Constitution, as I still understand, it does say we the people. It doesn't say, oh, the Congress. It doesn't say, oh, the president. It doesn't say, oh, the courts or we the courts. It says we the people. It's up to us. It's up to us to want that, and we have to continue to keep advocating for that. All right, energy level declines. A decline in mental health often results in poorer quality sleep, heightened fatigue, and difficulty staying focused. These factors can significantly impede your ability to address debt, let alone take effective actions. Furthermore, it's challenging to develop a comprehensive plan for the future when you're not in the right mental state. So these are very much connected in every way possible. Every way. Your financial ability does affect your mental capacity. And we have to find ways, we have to make ways. We can't find any more of these understandings. We have to make the understandings because they're there. I tell my students all the time, can you find time? And they always look at me like, yeah, of course we can find time. Look, it's on my phone. Look, it's on the clock right there. Look, it's everywhere around us. We can find time, but unfortunately, you can't find time. You can make time for certain things, but you can't find time for certain things. You can't find them. It's not there. And if it were there, we would be a lot better off. But the problem that we're having is that we're not making and not applying adequate time to certain activities. And taking care of your financial health is an activity. You have to be more involved. You have to find ways of effectively addressing whatever it is that's in that financial situation that could be stressing you out. If it's credit cards, well, talk to a credit counselor. If it's debt, talk to a debt counselor. If it's spending, overspending, if it's not having the financial capacity to reduce how you're spending, using the proper methods of spending. Everyone runs to their debit and their cash, and I don't understand why. They run to that debit and their cash. And that debit and that cash is not necessarily the ideal transaction method that you should be using. Because if you had something that was giving you a grade, which your credit card does, and if you understood how you apply that, you would probably be far more successful. You'd be less stressed as well. And this is where we come in and where we can help you with navigating through some of those challenges. It's not I'm going to stop saying it's not hard, and it's pretty simple when you think about it, but you have to want it more than us, to those who are presenting it to you, and you have to be coachable, teachable. You can't stand in your own way. If you know that you've been doing something for a long period of time and you haven't seen any success by that, then maybe you might think, hey, maybe I should attempt something different. And if you do attempt something different, guess what's going to happen? You're probably going to get a better outcome, but you have to want it more. And that's the topic of this day, wanting it more than those who are delivering it to you. Because there are those out there who, again, sincerely want the best for you, but you have to want the best for you equally as well. Unresolved wounds may resurface and cause distress. When you feel low, your mind may replay past incidents for similar emotions, often recalling the lowest point in your life. Often unresolved emotional wounds resurface as mental health deterrents. All right, so you have to decide what's important. Am I going to revisit the past, or am I going to push the past to the past and leave the past there? Am I going to find better ways of coping or having coping mechanisms? Again, you can reward yourself when you get paid. The best thing to do is to reward yourself, but put it into a category of understanding. All right, maybe I just want to buy a pair of jeans. Maybe I just want to buy a pair of sneakers. Maybe I just want to buy a nice brim or a hat. Maybe I want to buy a nice shirt. But don't buy the shirt, the sneakers, the jeans, the whatever, all that comes with that, because it's going to fulfill absolutely something for a minute, and then you're going to be right back in that rut again. We have to develop coping mechanisms when it comes to our finances, and also coping mechanisms when it comes to that stressor that leads to other mental conditions that will definitely need a professional to help you navigate through. This can result in changes in financial behavior. For instance, a father who has mocked or who was mocked for lacking nice possessions as a child might overspend on his child to shield them from the similar pain. And I think a lot of us are out there doing that, spending $300 and $500. I mean, if you think about a pair of shoes, Jordans, which again, that's another topic for a whole nother day. But if you think about those expensive shoes, and then you turn around and you buy a track suit, Foot Locker, wherever it may be that you choose to go to, none of these brands or none of these locations that I'm talking about are they're not bad. They just have business practices that are questionable. Okay, but yes, you might go into these particular stores and buy these particular brands, and then you think that you're doing your child a good thing, but you're actually harming yourself as well as that child, because when that child gets a little bit older, thinking how you spent, well, they're going to attempt to do the exact same thing, and it's not going to work out. And knowing what we know already, you get a minimum wage when you start. You get a minimum wage, and then you have to go in and perform at your maximum. And a lot of times that minimum wage doesn't cut it. And then you have to live above a means to do what? To like people or to, what's the word? To impress people that you don't even like. We have to get better at this. We don't need to lavish our kids with something for our compensation that we didn't get. Similarly, an individual who has never felt adequate might take on a larger loan than she or he can afford in hopes of garnering the attention he or she craves. We need to break this cycle. And the best way to break this cycle is to address your financial concerns. The best way to break this cycle is to speak to financial professionals who can navigate you through some of these challenges. And yes, some of them will charge you, some of them may not. It all depends on the institution. Go to a nonprofit organization. Hopefully they have some intelligent, articulate, well-versed individuals. Just don't buy into anyone's nonsense, because I've seen a lot of things over the past 20 plus doing this. And I'm telling you, I'm disturbed. I am disturbed. I'm disturbed at the fact that debt collectors, they don't help. I'm disturbed at, what's that one that someone asked me a couple of days ago? Debt consolidation. I'm disturbed at that industry. Disturbed. The same things that they do, you can do on your own. The same things that they attempt to charge you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on, you can do yourself. How do I know that? Because I myself have done it. I have walked through the hardships of financial stressors to come out on the other end well more prepared than I ever thought in a million years that I was ever going to be. And you yourself can do the exact same thing. Stop overspending. Stop lavishing your kids with all of these goodies, and make sure that they understand that money doesn't grow on trees. Stop putting yourself out there to think that, oh, if I just do a little bit more or do a little bit more or do it, that's not going to compensate. Once you get a hold and a grasp on how it all works, you're going to be able to see the success that you're craving for. Not the attention, but the success. And once you have the success, the attention is going to subside. You're not going to even want to live in that type of space any longer. You're going to find solace. You're going to find peace. And again, your overall mental health will start rebounding, all due to your financial health doing the majority of the work. All right. Clarity of thoughts becomes a challenge. Right? When mental health is deteriorating, focusing on mundane tasks like making a grocery list can be difficult, let alone contemplating the financial future. Decision making, long term planning, and organizing financial matters may seem like insurmountable challenges. And they can when you are unsure how that money works. When you know that, oh my God, I still got 5 more days, or I still got 10 more days, or some of us 15 more days till payday, and we done already blew through our whole beginning of the month type of situation if you're paid on a monthly basis. Some of our seniors who could be doing much better. Some of our young adults who could be doing much better if we brought this understanding into the spaces in which they reside. Some of our workers, the workforce. I like unions. I don't love them, but I like unions. I think they started out at wanting to do the right things, but the unions nowadays, they tiered things out. They made things way more challenging, and they should be doing a far better job at making sure that their members not only pay their dues, but that these members also equally understand how their money works. Employers, same exact thing. You want us to protect your bottom line, but how are you protecting your employees' bottom line? You barely give them time off. They got to beg and plead just to have a day off to go and resolve whether it be a medical condition or some type of a situation when it comes to their child. I think we have gone the complete opposite direction of what this nation was basically more or less attempting to, I guess, present to all of the citizens. Businesses have taken control of situations that I believe they should never have anywhere. They shouldn't even come anywhere near close to even have the ability to, what's a good word? Disrupt. That's a very good word, because their best practices are their best practices are obstacles. Their best practices are distractions. Their best practices need to be revisited so that that best practice is also a best understanding for their employees. They're taking care of those consumers. Trust me, I know, because I've been in that space. I made sure that whoever I worked for, that our understanding of the consumer was beneficial to all parties, not just the employer or that institution. And when you can create an environment of that and also make sure that their financial understanding is also taken care of, what happened to raises? What happened to your 90-day, your 60-day, your 6 months or your yearly reviews? What happened to these things? You don't even get them any longer. So you live in a circumstance where everything else goes up but your wage. And then they run around here talking about, 2%, 2%, 2%. 2% is what? 2% is nothing when you're making minimum wage. It's nothing. Oh, now finally, wow, congratulations. And I'm not going to take anything away from the federal government doing what it has done. I'm not going to take anything away from the states doing what they have done, but you haven't done enough. If we have some 60 to 70% of the population with almost no wealth, when we have to talk about individuals who don't have $400 nor have $1,000 in savings, well, savings is another issue that we need to address. A lot of compounded situations have made matters worse when we should have been doing and seeking ways to make matters much, much more equitable. And I'm not going to say fair, because that's not a word. That's not a word that even should be anywhere in our lexicon that describes how we are supposed to be navigating through our financial challenges. We don't want fair. We want equitable. When we start speaking the language of businesses, business will start responding in a manner in kind. But since we have only adopted the narrative of the oppressors, guess what we're doing? We're not finding the relief that we need. So how to enhance your mental well-being? Fortunately, there are measures you can adopt to enhance your mental well-being, which can subsequently improve your financial health, ensuring your body receives adequate rest. Again, Get that sleep. Why are you staying up? I know you got to toss and turn because, oh, you know what? It's just too overwhelming. Exercise. The endorphins of burning off a certain amount will also equally help you with probably getting that sleep. Nutrition, eating properly. Junk food doesn't help. Get you a good meal. Get you some vegetables. Get you some starches. Get you some proteins. Do these things on a regular basis. And then you'll probably start seeing, wow, my mental health is better. Now I can focus a little bit more on that financial element that I need. And also, as I said, seek professional help if needed. Interacting with supportive individuals. Participating in recreational activities, even when motivations are low. Getting out of the house. Walking around the block a few times. Putting that mind in a whole different state so that you can think a bit more clear. And dedicating time to addressing your needs, such as managing your budget. A student showed me today how to manage, showed me an app, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. This was a very intelligent app. I was like, wow, I could use one of these. And that app was called Structured. It's on the iPhone. Structured. It's in the iPhone store. Look it up. It's called Structured. It helps you with putting things in play and dedicating that time to that understanding. And that's what's important too. Dedicating that time, doing it, and then moving on to something else. Dedicating that time, doing it, and then moving on to something else. All right, can contribute to enhancing your psychological wellness. If you're encountering difficulties in cultivating mental resilience, seek professional assistance. All right, don't let your mental state overwhelm you to where you're thinking something unconscionable. We need you. Your people around you need you. Your friends, your loved ones, they need you. Don't put yourself in a situation where you believe that it's too overpowering, because it's not. There is a means and there is a solution for you. You can commence by contacting your physician to rule out any physical issues that might underlie your symptoms. So there might be other health concerns that your physician might be able to address for you. Having a doctor, having a person in the family, or not in the family, but having a personal doctor versus going to the ER. And I know with the insurance situations that goes on in this country, which is, in my opinion, disastrous, horrible. Now, nothing against the Affordable Care Act, nothing against what we have built, but there is gaping holes in these systems, and sometimes purposely. And I'm not going to blame either one side or the other, but both sides need to come together and start really addressing it, not analyzing it any further, not studying it any further. There's no need to study the problem when we already know what the solution is. Right? So let the physicians rule out any physical health issues that might underlie your symptoms, such as thyroid disorders. Subsequently, you can consider engaging with a therapist. Nothing wrong with that. I think everyone in this country, since we've went through a pandemic, their insurance should cover therapy. Talking to someone would be the best way to get you back on track. And a lot of us, that's all we really need. We just need to sit down and have a sincere conversation with a sincere person. If you need to cry, cry. All right? Males, cry. Females, cry. If you need to let that out, let it off. Let it off. I'm telling you, you're going to feel much better about yourself when you can talk to someone who really sincerely wants to make sure that you are performing at your best. Because for me, your best is the only thing that I want out of you or from you is your best. And if this is the way to help you get to that best, well, hey, I'm here to help you. All right. So again, subsequently, you can consider engaging with a therapist who can assist you in identifying practical strategies to promptly alleviate your distress. They want to. That's what they went to school for. That's what and again, find out from your insurance provider, find out from your employer, find out from the city or the state or the municipality where you live. Do they have such services? If it's a cost factor, I'm sure we can find some way to get a nonprofit organization to alleviate that stressor so that you can find yourself back in a state of mind that's going to suit you. And God knows if you have any children, it's going to benefit them. God knows if you have a spouse or a mate or a partner, it's going to benefit them. And focus on, in those relationships, keeping things 50-50. 50-50. I'm not in a relationship right now, and not because of anything that I've done or my mates have done. No, it just didn't work out. But I always require in any relationship 50-50, whether that be a financial relationship with your bank, with your lender, with whomever, 50-50. Talk it out. Make it work for both parties. In your relationships, because relationships are not just emotional. They're not just the ones that you have a physical relationship with. They're also spiritual. They're also financial. They're also mental. They're also academic. And we're balancing a lot of these relationships right now that we ourselves are having a difficult time with navigating. But I hope this helps you with understanding you're not in it alone. You're not by yourself. There are going to be multiple people that you can talk to. You just have to seek them out. And if you can't seek them out, seek us out. And we can help you with navigating through some of those challenges. It's really not that hard. I've seen myself in some of the worst possible situations. I grew up a foster child. I love sharing that story. I understand that my parents could not take on me or my other siblings at that particular time in their lives, but I have a great relationship with my mom. It's not a relationship that doesn't have its ebbs and flows, but I love that lady. My biological mother, loved her to death because I sat down, I had conversations with her. We talked about some of the things that had obviously happened in her life to where she had to not give us up, where she had to give us to someone else so that we could have the life that she could not provide. And then once she got back on those feet, once she got that understanding, we were already grown, but we still never separated. We still wanted to know each other. We still wanted to have that mother-son bond. And now we have a bond that is stronger than ever. And I love that fact. And I didn't allow for that to hinder or prevent me from the success that I'm now achieving through helping others. And sharing that story is also equally a help. But we have means. I went to a therapist. I've gone and sought a lot of help for myself mentally to make sure that I'm a stable person. And not only am I a stable person, I'm a well-rounded person. Not only am I a well-rounded person, I'm an educated person. Not only am I an educated person, I'm someone who loves to make sure that our fellow brother and sister have what they need. Financially, I'm in a position where I can do what I want to do. I'm in a position where I'm now just waiting for the ideal moment to move forward. But I'm not going to go out and blow things when I do feel a little bit down. I'm not going to go out and destroy what I've built all because I think this problem might be too overwhelming, or I think this situation might be too overwhelming. I have individuals like Dr. Yana B. I have individuals like the producer Matt of this Soul City Network. I have people in my life that I can turn to, and not for resources. Well, their information is equally a resource, but for information that would help guide me down whatever path that I need to be guided down properly so that I can see things. There is light at the end of that tunnel, and I love getting closer and closer and closer to that light. And with the help of others, that's going to help you see more clear. We veer left, we veer right, but we always have to come back to that straight and narrow. Veer left, veer right, pause for a minute, but always come back to that center, because the center is where it's more clear. Right? So we're going to wrap this up, and I was hoping that we'd get a couple of questions out there, but if there's anyone out there who has a question or two that they want to pop in or drop in at the moment, please, by all means, talk to me. Let me know what's going on in that brain. Before we wrap it up, I want to give you a little bit of information about if you have any concerns. My phone number is 805-428-9424. Once again, that telephone number is 805-428-9424. You can send me an email, leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. That's leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. We are here right in Yonkers, New York. Now, my P.O. Box has changed. My apologies for having the old P.O. Box there, but that is P.O. Box 555, Yonkers, New York, 10702. All right, P.O. Boxes, I just found out, they have a 2 instead of a 1. So that is P.O. Box 555, Yonkers, New York, 10702. And what we also use now that our website is being redesigned, we are using something called Linktree. If you haven't heard of Linktree, oh my goodness. Linktree is one of the coolest apps that are out there, because it ties all of your activities or all of your professions or things that you like to do into, or even individuals that you like to promote. It puts them all into a category or a space, and you're able to navigate through it. And I tell you right now, it's been a wonderful app to, again, for individuals seeking that understanding. It's a great app that allows for you to move effectively through some of the, not challenges, but some of the opportunities that you could help someone else with if they're going through some challenges. And I use it all the time for my shows. I use it all the time for my PowerPoints, for my whatever I'm advertising or whatever I'm putting out there. Is just a great way of being able to share content with individuals. I really like Linktree. Really like it. So that's just one of our tools that we use to help the public. But overall, I hope this show helped you with understanding what you should and what you have to do to move forward. It's up to you, folks. It is up to you. We're going to be here. We're going to be able to do as much as we can for you, but I hope that you're walking away with a sense of relief that there are sincere individuals out there that really want to help, that really want to make sure that you are okay, not just financially, but also mentally. Not just mentally, but also academically. Not just academically, but we want to make sure that you are well-rounded when it comes to how that money works. And this is what we do here at Soul City Network. This is what we do here when we are talking about leverage your score. This is what I do, Tyrone Glover, a human being first, always human being first, African-American who sincerely loves his people and will do anything for his people, who's dedicated, committed, resolute to not just my success, but anyone who seeks me out. I'm also dedicated and resolute to your success. It's trying out there. It's tough out there. It's crazy out there. And all we're going to do is help you get to where you need to be. And our job is never, for me, it's never a tiring job, because when you love what you do, guess what? You're going to do it to the fullest. You're going to do it with every bit of what you have inside you. And that's how I operate. My students will tell you, the clients that I've helped will tell you, the passerbyers that I give $1 or 50 cents to, or they will tell you, this guy's a really nice guy. This guy is sincere. And not only am I a nice guy and I'm sincere, I'm an authority in this space now. I'm someone who knows what they're talking about, someone who's put in that work, not only for myself, but also for my clients, for my students, for my participants, for the athletes that I've helped out along their paths. my job is a job that requires patience, that requires confidence, that requires that we are knowledgeable. And I associate myself with those types of individuals. And I've given a huge shout out to Dr. Yana B, and I will continuously keep giving her those shout outs because she's someone who I can look back at and go, wow, I'm glad that I was able to meet this woman this queen, someone who really focuses on making sure that not only am I good, but that even when I'm going down a pathway where we're challenging each other, well, hold on there, sir. Let's back that up a little bit. Let's back that up. And she knows how to do that with tact. She knows how to do that with a great understanding. And it's never something that I have to look at and question. She's a true professional. And I really want everybody else to equally, since this is Women's Month, I'm going to give her the biggest shout out today. The biggest shout out. She's a brilliant, bright, intelligent, and everyone should tune into her show on Thursdays. That is Access Wealth Nation. It is great information. She covers a variety of topics in her lane of expertise. That's why I never encroach upon that space. I'm a credit guy. I'm someone who loves the lane of credit, someone who really engages in that space because it only allows for me to do what I have been designed to do. And yes, designed to do. I'm positioned specifically or strategically by our creator for this moment in our history. Because this is not words coming just out of my mouth and I'm sitting here reading a script or whatever. This is God putting it right in while I'm talking to you and it's coming right out. He's making sure that I have the ability to convey this message to you. And I am grateful. I am humbled at the fact that I get to do what I do. And I'm extending my hands to you, asking you, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want to spend the next 30, 40, 50 years stressed out, wondering if your financial situations are ever going to get resolved? Or do you want to take that leap of faith and know that there are professionals out there that want to help you? Hell, if need be, we'll do it for a nominal, smallest fee. Because you got to remember, we are business. We are a business, and the business must thrive, and the business must succeed. But we are also human beings. We are also decent human beings. Someone who can look at and go, you know what? Hey, not that serious. Got you. Don't worry about it. Got you. And that's how we should be operating as human beings on this planet. That's how we should be operating as the United States of America. And evermore, I keep seeing that we keep running across this understanding of the divided states of America. Regardless of who our president is, regardless of who our constitutional scholars are, regardless of who our leaders are, we have to require upon our leaders to also understand that we, the people, will no longer be taken advantage of. And it starts with self. Love thyself first. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you as always. My name is Tyrone Glover. I am the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be with you this Tuesday. I hope you come back next Tuesday and get some more of this valuable information. Leverage your score. Soul City Network. Love what we do. America, you be safe.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.